I mean, I'm not putting down the work that anyone has done. They're doing an awesome job. It's just things like that. They take time to actually pay you back. So at the moment, if we'd started this when we opened the site back up after the hack, we'd probably be fine with it. But since we're just now starting it up in the last few months, it is going to take some time before we start to see a return on that investment.
I mean, that's true. I mean, advertisement is, I guess it's give and take. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. I mean, it's kind of frustrating. People advertise on our site, but they don't in turn do it for us. So it's kind of taking our benefits, but not getting the return back. So I don't know. It's just I would like it if we do role play on different sites, we can properly advertise it. And also the podcast itself should be an advertising medium itself, because we're trying to bring awareness of role playing in general and have people be interested on the site as well, but also role play in general. So.
All right, Nick thinks we need to pull our money and buy an ad in Times Square. I got $1.
Yeah,
money for Times Square.
I don't know. That's a little optimistic. I'd be willing to go for like a billboard in like Utah.
No. We can get a billboard where I live, dude. They're cheap. They're cheap enough that there's a company here that has permanently rented one out, like just every month for the past 10 years.
We should hire a good DeviantArt guy from a good artist who draws good anime and like draw a lot of the pictures.
Like village scenes, like just basically take like a major event from a village and have them just draw it out. I think that would be epic to see. Because everyone loves those battlefield scenes. The ninja versus whatever they're fighting at the time. I think those are just epic.
Yeah. It would be really nice to have that and like use that as an advertising medium. So but then we have to pay for that. But I wouldn't mind doing that myself, like going to DeviantArt and asking requests. But I don't like pestering people from DeviantArt for that.
Well, I mean, being an artist myself, I actually have a long list of artists that do commissions with anime-based styles that are actually one is very well known. He's pretty much infamous. He does largely Naruto-based requests, and they look like stills from the anime. Like he's that talented.
Yeah,
so I mean,
he's
not
expensive.
He's not overpriced at all, actually.
No.
Because I would love.
What's overpriced to an artist?
So something for him. Well, if we're talking like a full battle scene, that might be like $50 to $75. Which actually, if you've ever actually looked at commission prices, they get out of hand. For like a single character portrait from like head to toe, from him is $25, which is actually pretty generous. Yeah. But regardless, yeah, DeviantArt, there might be something there. Maybe we could find one in exchange for advertising on it and see maybe someone might be willing to do some free work.
Maybe.
I actually like the idea. If you give me the name, I would like to have like Kako said, like the climax of the Clean Slayers would be awesome. Like seeing Kitsune dying, giving her life for was it Shin and Yumi, or like see Inishi like fight against Misa near the bridge, kind of like how Sherlock Holmes and Moriarty.
Oh yeah, that would be crazy.
That would be so awesome. Just thinking about it, I don't know.
No, like I said, there might be something to it. I don't know. I'll send out some messages and see if anyone bites.
Okay, cool. Next topic. Next question. Let's see. Kotama is asking, when are we going to come up with some alternative conditions that allows you to get something cool that isn't taboo?
Coming straight from Dev, I can let you know at the moment, nothing like that is even in the works. It's not even an idea. So, I mean, if you want to suggest something like that, by all means, we can figure something out.
Yeah, I mean, suggestions have gone a long way up the chain before.
Yeah. Shoot, a lot of them lately have actually gone through and gotten passed.
Yeah,
if you suggest a good idea, I will argue that thing straight up until it's posted in announcements.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of people post up crazy ideas too, and I'm like, I wish this was a thing. So yeah, I mean, I think if someone did like an offshoot, basically the opposite of Kenjutsu, which are forbidden, it's just basically like superpowers for the other side, I think that'd be interesting.
Nick, post that in suggestions. Don't be lazy. I'm gonna forget about it.
I would love to have custom jutsus to come back, but we know that's not gonna happen. So.
No, God, no, never again.
Yeah, I mean, so first of all, being somebody who was on a site previously that was dedicated to making a custom skill set for every single player, because it was a matter of evolution with their characters, so not only did you have to create a custom skill set for them, but it had to evolve as they grew stronger. Not as hard as it sounds in terms of the scaling part, but actually just the sheer number of custom skill sets that had to be completely unique to one another. And we're not talking about using formulas for different skill types, like a damage thing, or everything was like independently made. That's a lot of work. And that's exactly what opening up custom jutsus would be on NC. Everybody would want, even if it's one custom jutsu from each person, that's 100 custom jutsus to make that you now have to balance and fit into the system. It would be excessive. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, flavor-wise, could be super cool. I mean, because like I said, then you start getting rare techniques that only one person has, and then maybe we could think about figuring out a system so people can kill that person and then learn that technique, or learn it through them, or have them teach it to them or something like that. I know we used to have like a teaching system like that, but that got out of hand. Because I know there was a student that could use a Chidori at one point. That was a little much.
Rasengan. It was Rasengan because
was there Rasengan?
Yeah, it was Rasengan.
No.
Teach
that same student then rebirthed and took advantage of the no caps idea that was out at the time into a 600 agility reckless abusing power lunge.
Yeah. But I mean,
yeah.
Like I said, the concept is right. You just have to be able to know how to regulate it properly. And like I said, if we could narrow it down to, like I said, a specific jutsu to each ninja, as opposed to anything and everything, I think that could have potential, but it's just an idea. It may not actually make it through, and there are a lot more pressing things to be concerned about for now.
Yeah. To reiterate, Kako and everybody else who's been listening, the reason why we can't have custom juices is basically because it's very taxing to, balance the things out, because once the juice is broken, then it's kind of hard to keep that.
We'd have to go out, take it back from them, give them their money back for it, and retool the thing, which could take time.
Yeah.
And once you let people customize something, there's always going to be people working in a break somewhere that you can't see it.
Well, that's why what would happen is everything would be underwhelming up to the point that you would either have to keep them all so bland that you're basically only renaming a jutsu that has similar numbers to something else on the site already, and you get to choose its special effect, but maybe change its element. That was maybe as far as you could go without having to worry about somebody trying to sneak past an effect that would break the system. And again, you can only go so far, because remember, it's the dev team's responsibility to make sure that if someone wants a jutsu to do something specific, that they create a balanced way for that to fit in the system. But again, 100 unique different effects that someone would have to balance within the system is basically trying to start, 25 new core abilities or bloodlines with, new skill sets across all of them that are completely unique away from all the others. It's really difficult just to fit it all in.
Yeah, I would love to have it, but it's kind of hard. I don't know. If we have a bland system like that, we basically can do that anyways. You can apply a jutsu to behave as something else.
Yeah. For the record, someone asked, we're talking about custom battle jutsu, not roleplay jutsu.
Although you could use a roleplay jutsu to reskin a battle jutsu if you'd like. Honestly, I think that's probably a better situation than which you could have with actual custom jutsu.
You don't even need that. I just reskin my battle stuff as is anyways.
Oh, not really, because for instance, I want to use I don't want to use curseos, but I want to use a jutsu that kind of has the effects of a curseo, but they're not evil. But from what I'm told, no matter what you do, curseos are considered evil, so you can't go away
in the battle system.
Yeah, but it's still so my character isn't evil, but I'm permitted to use evil jutsu characters. I don't doesn't make any sense in character, because I want to use an evil character. My character is it's like a paladin, like a good character, so you wouldn't be using evil jutsu anymore.
Well, it's not evil. I think they're actually considered dark now.
Correct, and because remember, evil is a perspective. However, something to note about at least curse seals. So even if you change what curse seals were, they are holy markings from an angelic god. Fine. However, mechanically, you still have to explain away the enrage effect, which he becomes so overwhelmed with holy light that he strikes his allies. I mean, it's actually something inside the Cursed Seals that isn't very good.
Yeah, you can't change the mechanics. You can change the flavor.
Okay. So
I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have noticed that I'm walking around basically going Star Wars with kinetic stuff.
Use the Force.
But you still gotta use you still gotta use hand seals though. You can't like not use hand seals unless you're like.
I don't roleplay. Stuff floats around them.
Okay.
So I mean, in battle, yeah, hand seals are a thing. Even if I don't roleplay using hand seals, if you mess my hands up, it still will do the called shot effect on hands where stuff takes more AP. If you bind my hands, I can't use those jutsu, and I'll have to come up with some RP reason to explain all that. But as it stands, you can reflavor just about anything you want.
Yeah, that's true. So, we have one last question. Well, it's almost 10 o'clock, so we should probably cut this short a little bit. But, any last questions?
I did see one get asked I'd like to talk about. Kai asked if we could talk a bit more about the countries that have come out lately.
Yeah.
Two major ones. One wasn't a new country. One is just missed coming back, basically. Kai was not here for that, I don't think. But what happened was the entirety of Water Country has pretty much frozen over. A blizzard just, blizzard came out of nowhere, froze everything solid. I believe Miss Council did that so that the village could be RP being recovered later. But what we've done with it is actually brought it back and turned it into like a Antarctic version of Silent Hill. So everything's iced over, buildings have crumbled from the cold, there's ghosts and monsters and stuff everywhere. And I think Plot was planning to use it at one point for an event, but I don't know if they're still doing that or not. But it's a very, very inhospitable place. There is literally no way for anyone to survive there for any amount of time. There's no drinkable water, no food, none of that. But yeah. The other one is Moon. Moon's a personal thing to me because of how it is. So Moon is like a very religious village, but not to religion itself. They kind of worship their legends and the mythology of the land. They have a shrine, and the shrine runs the village runs the country. You know how that goes. They don't have shinobi, but they do have people who have ranks in the village that working out of the shrine. So like their version of the Kage would be the shrine maiden or the priestess. Then there are the three priests right below her. They run the wardens, the priests, and the healers. But also the big thing about Moon is it's a major tourist attraction because of, first off, the shrine and the village itself, how it's all flowing architecture based around mythology. Then on the other side of the island, you've got these beautiful beaches, you got a reef and all that. No, there's no children of the forest. There's a rainforest, though. I mean, it's just a varied land with a lot of scenery. So I'm looking forward to using it in a lot of things.
Now I have a question. Can any player, like, I mean, you're admin, so it's kind of easy to create a country, but can any player, like, propose a country that, you know...
No, this is not a player-created country. It's not my country. I have no ownership of this since I'm no longer on Missing Council. This country it was created and is currently owned by the Missing Council. So in a year's time, if that whole council is different, it's still going to belong to whoever's on that council.
Right. And let me actually change gears, because if I heard Shin's question correctly, he was asking if an individual player could do something similar.
No.
And currently is no. They used to be able to. Back in the day, pre-hack, you could. Right now, if you go into the plot blog, there is a submission form you can fill out to use a country in its history, or in an NPC's history, in a story history, in an event history, something. But everything currently falls under the control of either the respective councils that were delegated those countries. As far as I'm concerned, every council has 2 countries, which we just heard about missing. Otherwise, everything else is under the blanket of plot. And you must send in an application in order to use it in terms of, like I said, story or plot devices. So no, individual players cannot own a country.
Right.
Well,
It used to be allowed, but that got abused several times over the course of NC. So the current rule is just a single player cannot own a country at all.
But they can still develop, like, if they have an idea of a country, they can propose it, like, as a group.
They can send it to Plot, and Plot can talk about it, yeah. But they have no ownership of that country, even if Plot approves it and it comes out.
Right, so they can be responsible for its development, for giving it its history. Like I said, because, for instance, I'm pretty sure a large handful of countries that Plot has jurisdiction over actually don't have anything written up for them. So if someone was like, oh, I would be interested in developing this because I maybe want to use this for a later part, and it would overall, attribute interesting history to the site. Let me write this up and send it to Plot. And yeah, Plot would throw it up and they'd review it and be like, yeah, overall this is a great idea. And then you'd have the back and forth of tweaks and things like that, and boom. And then eventually it could actually become, NC canon for, whatever country you wrote up for.
Okay, well, as long as that's allowable, people should know about it. So, because people might think that Hoshi created the Moon Country because he's admin, so he has the power to do that. But
that's not how Moon came out. Moon originally was an idea between Tatsy and I right when we got exiled out of Mist. Admin at the time said, no, that's not happening. So we just shrugged and kept working on it. Then Missing Council got formed, at which point, hey, everyone gets a little NPC country. We would like Moon and Grass. Well, I went around doing so much crap with Moon that it eventually came to be that, hey, we're going to need a forum for a lot of this stuff. And one got made.
Okay. Well, time's almost spent, so I don't want to cut it short. I don't know if Jake is going to have a after call or not, but if he does, and you could contact him for an after call.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing an after call as usual.
Okay. We'll have the next episode in the next 2 weeks. So until then, stay frosty.
Until then, praise the sun.
Praise the sun.
Don't encourage them.
Is that from Dark Souls?
It's a Dark Souls reference.
Yes. Night Solaire Vestora, my son bro.
Okay. So I'm not much of a Dark Souls fan, so I have no idea.
You should play it, Shin.
Sure, okay.
No, play it. It's not a game. It's a way of life.
Right.
Stop it.
It's a horrible way of life that will kill you
Stop
repeatedly
Stop it.
and without mercy.
Stop it.
But it's awesome.
Just stop it.
Okay, fine.
And with that, apparently, we're going to sign off.
Night.
Night, everybody. Thanks for joining us.